What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here, taking a look at Stokastic's NBA DFS lineup generator for Friday night. While you're coming in, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. In this video, I'm going to group them together. I'm doing both DraftKings and FanDuel. We'll take a look at some DraftKings lineups to start. We'll take a look at some FanDuel lineups after that. If you have not already checked out the lineup generator, you get both. You get both DraftKings and FanDuel for $14.95 per week. Fantastic deal. You're getting only plus EV lineups in the lineup generator. And as I said, you get both DraftKings and FanDuel for that one price. And right now you can get it for 20% off if you use the link in the description of this video on YouTube or on Twitter. It's just going to be in my tweet. If you want to get it for 20% off your first week, it's still going to be $14.95 after that first week, but still a fantastic deal for, I think, the best by the dollar, most powerful tool in the industry. These have been run through the Stokastic Sims. Only good lineups here. All right, let's take a look at some DraftKings lineups. And I'm going to do all lineups for NBA, get a mix of chalky, balanced, and contrarian lineups when I do all lineups. I'm not going to lock anybody in. Again, if somebody projects well enough to make it into all of my lineups, the lineup generator is going to put them in there anyway. So no locking for me. All right, first lineup we see here. One thing I'm looking at, do we have any players or any teams with, more than 3 players on them? This one, I don't see any teams that have more than 3 players on it. As far as ownership goes, project for 180% total ownership on the chalky end of the spectrum, but we do have Kawhi Leonard in there at 2% projected ownership, Anthony Simons in there at 9%. Kevin Love, 12%. That's kind of low for Kevin Love. That's interesting. He's one of the better point per dollar plays at the moment. I should note, I am recording this video 5.5 hours before lock. You really want to be running the lineup generator as close to lock as possible because there's going to be breaking news on a slate this size. It's almost inevitable we're going to get players ruled out unexpectedly. It's going to change the whole scope of the slate. We're going to see some players pop in as values if that happens. No guarantee that we're going to see any big news, but if it does happen, we're going to see new values pop up. It's going to kind of change the whole slate a little bit, but you can get an idea early in the day for which players are looking good as values right now, because there's still probably going to be values later in the day as well. All right, I'm going to take a look at a couple more. This one, again, we don't have any teams that have more than, I don't even see any team with 2 players off immediately. 140% total ownership for this one, projects for 281 points. This one a little bit less chalky than the last one. We got Jaden Ivey in there at 1%, David Roddy at 2%, Jamal Murray 10%. For a slate this size, even 10%, I guess is kind of a lot of ownership. But we do have pretty low ownership here on David Roddy, Jaden Ivey, even Jokic. Jokic is at 8% projected ownership. All right, let's take a look at another one. 278, 132% ownership, 2% Kyrie Irving, 5% Jalen Williams, 5% Jakob Poeltl, 9% Anthony Simons. I think it's actually Simmons. I always call him Simons. Anyway, we are in the middle of the chalkiness spectrum on this one. A little bit of balance here. Now I'm just going to go through and save to see which players we're getting to the most of in all of our lineups, just to get an idea of our exposures. All right. We got to 40 lineups in this one, 20 bonus lineups, 95% Day'Ron Sharpe. That is not shocking. If you look in DraftKings and you just sort by value, Day'Ron Sharpe, by far our best value play on the slate right now. He's only 3,300. We have Nicholas Claxton out for the Nets, projecting Day'Ron for just even 29 minutes at over a fantasy point per minute. He just looks fantastic at 3,300. So right now, far and away our best value. I noted earlier, Kevin Love, pretty good value, played 28 minutes in the first game. We're not projecting for a ton of ownership, but he's only 4,300. So we got to a lot of Kevin Love in our lineups. Looks like a nice little leverage spot there for Love. We got Garland and Mobley in here. I believe no Jarrett Allen, if I'm remembering correctly. Of course, I can quickly check that. Yep, Jarrett Allen is out. So nice little bump there for Evan Mobley. Also Donovan Mitchell in there. The Cavs looking good. No huge shocks here. Jeremy Sokan, 5K, getting into a third of our lineups. No huge. Are we getting to any huge values here? So we have the really nice value play in Dayron Sharp. I'm a little bit surprised to see that we're not getting to a ton of anybody really expensive. We are getting a little bit above the field here on Jokic, but looks like as of right now, we're getting some fairly balanced lineups. We do have Dayron Sharp at 3.3K, but outside of Dayron Sharp, looks like a lot of, kind of mid-range value plays as of right now. But again, this can change closer to lock. Let's take a look at some FanDuel lineups as well quickly. All right, I'm going to go lineup generator, FanDuel main. I'm going to do all lineups, not going to lock anybody. So this one using the full salary cap. Not on the far end of the chalkiness spectrum. We have Jokic at 5% projected ownership, Matisse Thybulle at 2%, Norman Powell at 8%. We do have some chalk in here. Fred VanVleet is just 7,000. Wow. 46% projected ownership there, but it's going to look really good. Jalen Williams, 22%. Jaren Jackson, 29%. Mobley, 29%. All right, let's take a look at another lineup. Do we have PJ Washington at 4%, Kevin Love at 5% in this one, Josh Giddey 7%. So again, the nice thing about the lineup generator, it's balancing your lineups for you. These have been run through the Sims. You know that these are all nicely balanced lineups with, the right amount of projection versus ownership. That's what you're getting with these lineups. Looks like another good one here. Let's take a look at one more. Got the chalky VanVleet. We got 8% owned Cade Cunningham. That's really the only player we have in single digits in terms of ownership is Cade Cunningham here. As you can see, it's on the far chalky end of the spectrum, 218% total ownership, but projects for 310 fantasy points. That is very high. Yeah, looks like a nice lineup. No huge surprises. Again, we're getting to Mobley in this one. VanVleet just too cheap for his role. Markel Fultz 15%, but yeah, Cade Cunningham 8% is our lowest owned player in this one. So this one a little bit chalkier than I typically like to play, but I don't know as well as the Sims do, and the lineup generator using those Sims is going to have a better idea of how much chalk to play. All right, now I'm going to go through and just see who we're getting to the most of as of right now. All right, so again, getting to a ton of Dayron Sharp. We must have gotten 39 lineups here. Yeah, I must have discarded one. Okay, we got to 74% of Dayron Sharp. He's 5,000 here, so not like the 3,300 on DraftKings. Plus, you can only play one center on FanDuel, so 74% is actually a really good amount of Dayron Sharp. Got to 59% Jaylen Brown, 51% Jalen Williams, 41% Fred VanVleet, 38% Jaren Jackson Jr., 36% Evan Mobley, and then we're pretty spread out from there. A lot of different players in the pool here for 39 lineups. I don't think we have any huge shocks here. If we go to FanDuel, we'll take a look at our best values. Guessing some of those will pop to the top. Yeah, Dayron Sharp right at the top. Fred VanVleet at 7,000, our second best value play on the slate right now. Just projects really well, point per dollar for his 7,000 price tag. Interesting, Kevon Looney make it in there as our third best value. Do we even get to any? He's only center eligible, so competing with Dayron Sharp there. Yeah, we did get to 21% Looney. Jaylen Brown, 6,900 is just too cheap. Jalen Williams, we got to a lot of, again, just 5,800. We're projecting for 35 minutes and 31 fantasy points. Looks really good point per dollar there. Of course, no Ja Morant there in Memphis. Jaren Jackson Jr. going to look good. Of course, always a lot of volatility there. Evan Mobley looks good on both sites. So getting to a lot of the best value plays on FanDuel. And again, I don't think we're getting to any of the really expensive guys here. It's a more balanced build that we're getting at this point in the day. We are getting to 8% Jokic, but again, he's also competing only center eligible with some of the best values on the slate. All right, hit that like button if you have not already done so. I'd appreciate it. If you want to check out the lineup generator, again, it is best to run it as close to lock as possible. It's only $14.95 per week, and you can get it for 20% off right now. So it'll be about $12 for your first week if you use the link in the description of this video. Thanks for watching and good luck.